and I stop for little Johnny at a pedestrian crossing, and little Johnny's gonna get 2 for the price of 1, because I'm not going to be able to hold it.
You're going to plough it in the back.
Yeah, I'm not going to be able to hold the van back, am I?
No.
You know, so it's to give me that time to react to what he's doing, so he can react to what I'm doing. It's a concertina effect, isn't it?
Yeah.
But you can actually, with real learners, you know, getting to check the mirrors, to stop you whinging. Yeah, to think, oh bloody hell, this Martin's never going to give up. Yeah, okay, I'll check him, and they'll even go on test, check him, I'll check him. Yeah,
Because it becomes habit then.
yeah, but you know, they drive out the test set in the car park because the examiner's seen nothing to mark. With a pass certificate in the hand, are they going to check?
No, that's right, because you ain't there nagging them anymore, are they?
No. Well, it's not because they.
And they haven't learnt what they're checking for.
That's but if you know, if you give them reasons why, there's a fair to reasonable chance
something will stick in there.
Yeah, something will stick in there. Yeah.
It's like the sort of pedestrian crossings and the handbrake sort of situation, putting your handbrake on when you're the first car at a pedestrian crossing, and you know, oh, I could just sit there with my foot on the foot brake, and if someone hits you up the back, you know, if you've got the handbrake on, you've got a lot less chance of going over onto that crossing, haven't you? You know.
Yeah, it's
something that would stick in someone's mind.
Yeah, I mean, we all know in reality that the handbrake, even if you get hit from behind, the handbrake's not going to stop you being pushed on the cross. It's just going to slow down the car. They're very slightly, because the handbrakes nowadays are just, you know, it's not like you've got an air brake on a bus or a lorry where it actually locks the axles. It just puts a little bit of pressure on the 2 back wheels, doesn't it? But you know, if I know what's happening behind me, make sure you're educating them why they're checking the mirrors.
It's not just enough to do it, it's why you've got to do it.
You know, make it as graphic as you want. You know, nobody wants to be hit by a 40-ton lorry, do they?
No.
No. Because you get hit by one of them that's probably going to drive straight over, isn't it? Don't be frightened to tell them what the problem is, because it's probably one of the most commonest accidents, isn't it? You know, you see it all the time. You know, you see it every week. You get a bit of rain on the motorway. Well, you think whenever you have an accident on the motorway, it's one of 2 causes. Is people changing lanes without checking mirrors, or people driving too close, and the car ahead not being aware of it. If the car ahead was aware of it, they could take some of the responsibility by maybe increasing the gap between them and the car in front. It's just
dropping it.
You know, it's you ever see that program? These disaster programs where the way they describe a disaster. It's a build-up of events, isn't it?
Sequence of events, a bad sequence of events, isn't it? You know, they call it the perfect storm effect, don't they? You know?
If you just had that extra cup of tea before you left home, you wouldn't be involved in an accident, would you?
It's that whole sequence of things that happen that all conspire together to bring about the worst possible result.
But as you are on the road, if you try and get across to your pupils, if there's going to be an accident, you're going to be somewhere else. And the only way that's going to happen really is if they're looking and planning ahead and anticipating, and also bearing in mind what's happening behind, because I've seen some horrendous things on the roads. Over here you'll see it on a daily basis, I've been overtaken in the 20 mile an hour zone at 70 mile an hour over here, and if I was turning right at the time and I didn't check the mirrors, well, I wouldn't be sitting here now, would I?
No, I've seen it.
So you need to do a little bit more with identification in the early parts there, and that would give you
identification of the situation that we're subject.
Make sure I'm identifying. You know, I'm not saying through all the way through the subject. Once I realise that, you know, I'm identifying, well, I'll back off a bit, But you weren't identifying, and I wasn't identifying,
Yeah.
and I could see that you didn't realise I was.
Yeah.
I was missing out on these crossroads. I was missing out on the mirrors and missing out on the scan.
Yeah.
It was just getting into a bit of a mess.
Yeah, I kind of felt there as though I was looking for all sorts of other stuff as well, instead of keeping to the subject. And because of that, I wasn't really seeing anything. Does that make sense?
I was trying to keep it to one mistake.
Yeah.
When I coasted coming down the
Yeah.
the hill.
Yeah.
I mean, that should have been a big wake-up call.
Yeah.
You didn't really do much with it afterwards, though. Where was the remedial action on that? As I came up to the traffic lights,
Yeah.
I purposely didn't coast afterwards. That was a good link for you. Yeah, you stopped perfectly there. You put the clutch down exactly the right time.
Done exactly what you should do. Yeah.
You know, why did you put the clutch down there? Also, just so I can get in the first gear. Well, that's exactly what you should have done back at the other crossroads coming down the hill.
Yeah.
Make
No,
sense?
I get what you're saying. Yeah.
So when a fault comes in,
Yeah.
deal with it. If it's not being dealt with it, I'm going to keep it in and put another one in. Yeah.
So you're going to stack them up then? Aren't you?
Yeah, and that's why you ended up with a cross in the pat and
Yeah.
actually a corner cut together.
Right. Yeah.
If you realise they're stacking up like that, with a real pupil, pull them over.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because they're going to be getting flustered. They're trying to deal with.
Well, yeah, they're not going to be able to cope with everything. But you can't deal with everything then, because you've got too many things to. You're still trying to deal with one while the next one's occurring, then, aren't you?
Yeah. Yeah. You know, don't be frightened of pulling me over because it was going to get slightly away from you there. I could have got a third fault in there, and then you'd have been right on the back foot, wouldn't you?
Yeah. Yeah. No, I get that.
Yeah. You know, so if you miss a fault, then I am going to put it in again. Okay, you might spot it that time, but you're going to be dealing with a second one at the same time, then, yeah? Because you missed it the first time.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what's the routine that I use and approach? If it's not the same that you used
There's something wrong in it.
on the day you're part two, yeah, something's definitely wrong, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah, because it is. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because that's what the benchmark, isn't it?
Yeah. If you look at anything to do with junctions, it's MSPSL.
Yeah.
Mirrors, signal, position, speed, look, routine. Yeah. Yeah, that's a routine.
Every junction, isn't it?
Yeah, that's a routine I have to follow every junction.
Yeah.
Yeah, we could have just done a little bit of you could have done a bit of verbal testing on me there. I didn't get a chance to play around with it. But anything to do with junctions, what do we have? Have a look at that lady walking up to that crossroads now, yeah? What's she doing?
But the one with the dog?
I can't see the dog from here.
Okay.
Yeah, she's got a dog. Yeah, what's she doing? What are they all doing?
Wandering across the road.
They're crossing the road, aren't they? Yeah, because gaps in the pavements, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's the same at any type of junction. Pedestrians are not going to walk down as far as here and cross here and then and walk back again, are they?
No, they're going to cross the junctions, aren't they?
Yeah, so don't be frightened of getting in there with some and testing my knowledge. If you had a pedestrian standing on the pavement, what would you do? Hopefully the answer I'm going to come back with is make eye contact with them. Watch
Try
your
to
body
see what
language.
they're doing, yeah, watch what they're doing. Yeah.
If they put a foot in the road, what are you going to do? Well, I'm going to stop. And would I ever beckon them across? Well, the answer should be no.
Yeah,
if I
because you
beckon
don't know
them
what
across,
everybody else is doing, do you?
and that taxi coming the opposite way doesn't see him,
Yeah.
well then, you know, I'm putting them in great danger, aren't I?
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, perfect sense.
Yeah?
Yeah, no, it's good. Yeah. Yeah.
Did I put you through hell there?
Yeah, you did. But that's good. I mean, that's how it is, isn't it?
Did any of it ring bells to what happened
Oh yeah.
that you can remember in your test?
Yeah, it did. Yeah.
It's remember, you can always recover to a certain extent, but you know you have to recover. It's a bit like taking a dog for a walk, isn't it? On one of these
Extended leads. Yeah.
stretchy leads, yeah. It can get so far away from you, and you can still retrieve it. But once the dog starts running around the lamppost, well, then,
You've had it, haven't you?
yeah, you've had it. Yeah, I mean, you know, always fight to recover, but you've really got to watch it. even if you spot a fault and you think, oh my God, I wanted to do that the last one. If you see it, say it.
Right.
And then let's get it sorted, yeah?
Yeah.
At least then that fault is going to be sorted. Okay, there might be an underlying fault there that you haven't spotted.
Yeah. But you can only deal with what you see, can't you? If you miss
Yeah,
it, you miss
yeah. I mean, you spotted the coasting, you were proactive with it, you told me to get the clutch up, but you didn't deal with it afterwards.
Right, yeah.
Yeah?
Following it up.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
That make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah, no, that's good. Yeah.
Right, you can breathe. Well, put that on pause.
Yeah, it's been a little bit less